and welcome to the Touch a Cell show. And I'm yours sincerely, Toyin Adeshola, and with me is Maureen Wachi. Hi, Maureen, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Hi, everyone.
So, welcome, everybody. If you're tuning in, don't forget to share this video, invite people. If you're on YouTube, share it also, invite people to watch because we're going to be talking about something that is very interesting and very important, especially in this part of the world, Africa. We may not talk about it
Mm,
much, except maybe in China and Asia, places like that. And that is alternative medicine. Alternative medicine. We're going to be talking about it, and we have what I call two juggernauts in the industry, who is going to break down this information for us and give us options. Because sometimes we get stuck in one area, and because we're not sure what it's all about, but we'll be able to break this down. Maureen, how has your day been? This marathon, I don't know. The marathon just finished before I even knew it started.
I don't know. It just came and went. My day was okay. I went for one bed.
Hey, now wow, lucky you. People like us were sleeping. I was catching up on sleep.
Mm,
Yeah, and as usually Kenyan one. Somebody said on social media they should just give it to Kenya and not bother holding any marathon because they are the ones who always win.
with a view.
All right, so we'll start and we'll bring on our first guest. And let me just bring him on. And we have Otunba Olajuwon Okubena. Welcome again to the Touch a Cell show, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
and
pleased
I'll
to be.
just shortly read his bio. When I saw the bio, I was like, wow, where do I start? But I didn't even know this. He's a qualified chartered secretary as well as a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. And did you know that he even established a farm at one time, Bena Farms Limited? And but now he's diverting his attention from farm business to herbal medicine. And I'm sure if people may not recognize the name, but when I say the word Jobelyn to a lot of Nigerians, I'm sure they will recognize that name as something people with sickle cell use, and even other people as well. But most of the time, it's people with sickle cell that even carry the drug to use, the medication to use. And so
Mm,
he is the founder and maker of Health Forever products. Who make Jobelyn and the Jobelyn formula, Juby formula. And so
mm.
welcome, sir, again to the Touch Yourself show.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased
Thank
to be
you.
on this platform, and I
Thank you,
hope
sir.
I'll be able to make a good contribution.
Yes,
Mm.
we definitely
Yes.
believe you will. Your wisdom, I'm sure, will help people gain a better understanding of things again. And we have a second guest,
Okay.
Maureen.
Okay. So our second guest tonight is Dr. David Ajaere. He's hemo, a homeopathic and naturopathic medical practitioner with over 40 years experience in the field of medicine. He's the founder and president of Dr. Sickle Cell. So for those who may be wondering what homeopath might mean, or I think it simply means unorthodox medicine, something like that. I don't know if I'm correct, but he's going
Exactly.
to correct me if I'm right.
Yes, exactly.
I'm wrong, rather. So welcome on the show, sir.
You're right. You're right.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you very
Welcome.
much. Thank you for having me. Very much. Thank you
All
for
right.
having me.
Thank you so much. So, my first question will be to both of you, and maybe Otunba will first. How did you get into natural medicine, alternative medicine? Because people don't really normally focus on that area. What made you go into that area?
Well, I didn't go into it deliberately. I mean, from my background, I started my life as a teacher, and I was vice principal of a school in Yaba before I studied privately and qualified as a cost and management accountant, joined the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. And then, after a while, I got fed up with routine accounting, and I wanted to do something productive. So I went into farming, and I was, rearing chickens, and then hatching day-old chicks. And on that farm, I had a serious accident. Some people came to attack me on the farm, and I nearly lost my life.
Wow.
And it was during the investigation that, I met a herbalist, a traditional medicine practitioner. And I wanted to get to the root of what caused the mishap I had on the farm. So it was from him that I saw something that looked magical to me. In his clinic, he was treating and curing everything with only a single herb made from what you call Kurokoro Akababa, sorghum bicolor stem. So, but he was extracting the water, the liquid, and giving it to sickle cell patients, HIV patients, cancer patients. And when I was with him, I was witness to all these things. But he was doing one thing. He was also always changing the color of the extract. At times it will make it red, at times it will make it green, just to be able to, not to allow people to believe that it is only one thing. But I narrowed the whole thing down, and I confronted him. I said, look, we are using the same thing for giving this thing to everybody. If somebody has sickle cell anemia, after a week of treatment, he will get well. Then I asked him, I said, are you calling any magic incantation on this thing? He said, no. So eventually I decided to apprentice myself to him. And I was apprenticed to him for 2 years. And he was at Ibadan. And I was going from Lagos to Ibadan every Tuesday and Thursday to take lectures from him. And then the curiosity I had was how could a single herb, an innocent herb, the stem of sorghum bicolor leaves, how could it be curing everything? So it was more or less like something of a curiosity. But eventually I was just being led further and further into it. But as an accountant, accounting is a precise, science. If you say 2 + 2, in accounting, it must be 4. If you say 2 + 2 is maybe 5, you are not talking as an accountant then. You are talking maybe as an economist, other things being equal. In accounting, everything has to be equal. So I now decided to investigate, and that was what led me gradually until the farm had to fold up naturally. That was how I got. And up till now, I've started this adventure since 1995. And I am satisfied that I got to the bottom of the whole matter to find out why a single herb is curing everything. And I think maybe I will have the chance to talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Okay, Dr. Ajaere. How do I pronounce your name? So I always get that surname bad. How did you get into is it hemopathic? How did you even enter that alternative medicine?
Homeopathic.
Homeopathic.
Medicine.
Okay.
Yes, and naturopathic medicine. I'll tell you. The homeopathic medicine, homeo means same, pathos means suffering. Means same suffering. Okay? It is based on a lot of similars. Similar syllable spiritual. Let like be cured by like. Rediscovered by a German doctor called Dr. Mr. Animal. He was an doctor. He was practicing, but he found out that the system of practice then was harsh, bloodletting and all that. So he stopped practicing and began to interpret a writer and a pharmacist. While he was interpreting a book named Cooling Material Medical from English to German, he found in the footnote that Cinchona quinine, take care of malaria in healthy human beings. He became curious. He wanted to know how Cinchona take care, a healthy human being, or to cause Cinchona to cause, fever in a healthy human being. So he began to research. He was curious. Began to research on it. In the he tested it in elderly adults of both sexes, children, and he saw that these symptoms manifested in human beings. In human provers, they just take their substances or drugs on healthy human beings. They are called provers. And if the same drug or substance is used on a patient who is having the same symptoms, it heals it. That's like the cure of their life. Similar symptoms corrector. Now, most of the drugs are drugs. They are put in type drugs. By attenuation, I mean decreasing the toxic quality of the drug and increasing the fine therapeutic quality of that drug. Meaning, homeopathic drugs should not be given, they should be attenuated, or in form of dieters and all that. When you go to a homeopathic hospital, the homeopath, you will find a lot of bottles, neatly labeled. These bottles contains different potencies, but they are attenuated. They are very good in the treatment of chronic diseases. You understand? So when these drugs are attenuated, but when it's used on a patient who is sick, cure takes place. But there's one important thing in homeopathic treatment. The drugs that is used on the patient, if given, remember that the body of the patient has the tendency of healing itself. In alternative medicine, within the man, there's a healing, there's a body there's something that heals internally. So any that's given in alternative medicine instigates the healing, helps the healing to take place, to be faster. The homeopath also studies what we call homeopathic pharmacy. There are 6 sources of drugs. Then this homeopathic pharmacy, you find out that they understand how drugs are prepared in different forms, in form of liniments, in form of ointments. They can even practice as a herbal, because they understand the sources of drugs. Okay, you have the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and so on and so forth. So homeopathy is a drug, is a system of medicine that cures chronic diseases. Then when you talk about naturopathic medicine, also in naturopathic medicine, you find out that it's what you find around you, nature, what you use in nature. You see, what the lecithin used in washing your body is a homeopathic drug. The what we call carbonate in homeopathy, that's charcoal, water. All these things are natural medicines. Okay. Do you know that cayenne or capsicum? That the people are missing a lot. Capsicum, cayenne. If somebody is about dying and you give about 3 capsules of cayenne, try it. If somebody is at the point of death, take 3 capsules of cayenne, introduce. What does it do? It increases blood flow. It works on the heart and helps in blood circulation. So this comes under natural medicine. So what are natural medicine you are talking of? Water, hydrotherapy, okay, the use of water, air, breathing, exercise. A lot of people don't breathe. They don't even breathe, consciously. Yoga exercises comes under natural medicine. What do you call Okay, medicated baths. You having temperature. These are natural places. Medicated bath having temperature. You put in warm water. The temperature goes down. A lot of things in under natural medicine, which a lot of people are neglecting. So I'll stop. I'll stop here for now.
Thank you.
Something as hot as cayenne pepper. Ah, hot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I actually read about that when I was doing my health coaching course, that the importance of iron pepper. But I was like, how can somebody take that? It's hot.
I have used it. I have used it
Wow.
severally. Yes, it works. It enhances, it increases the blood flow towards the heart, and it pumps it and it's so a lot of things are being, in fact, we are neglecting a lot of things in this part of the world.
Mm.
There are a lot of things that can kill and bring one to life. Neglect them. They are there, they are working.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So
You
I've
want me to
heard
continue? Oh, okay. Thank you.
yeah, no, so I've heard two words that have been used. Like Otunba used the word cure, and Dr. Ajaere used the word treatment when talking about they were both talking about the same thing. And so we know people always tend to fight about when you talk about supplements or natural medicine and you use the word cure, there's always some form of ruckus that it can't cure. Maybe it can aid management, or it can aid the treatment and all that. So what do you have to say about that, Otumba? Would you, when talking about Jobelyn now, and people say no, you can't say it cures, but it aids the management. What would you say?
Well, I think it is terminology or the way people express things. I mean,
Okay.
the herbal practitioners always run into problem, particularly with the regulatory bodies when they use the word treatment. They are so edgy and so, sensitive about it. How can you be using the word cure? Human nature, human beings are not even created in the first instance to be sick. So for you to be sick, it means that you have gone through a wrong process or wrong procedure or something has been wrong. Then if something brings you back to the path of sanity, which is the correct path, and you get well, I mean, now for fear of the authorities and the regulatory bodies, we emphasize more now on wellness. I mean, if you say somebody is having wellness, it means that there's absence of disease.
Yeah.
So the person is living normally. No, if anything brings a person to wellness, and you call it treatment or cure or whatever you call it, the most important thing is restoration. And the difference between, the orthodox treatment and the, natural traditional treatment is that one goes to the root of the cause of the problem. The others, the orthodox is always controlling. They cannot get to the bottom of any health issue. I mean, if somebody has sickle cell, for example, they try to prevent crisis. They try to push the blood when it is not normal, and so on and so forth. but natural medicine does not, approach it that way. Natural medicine will try to find out why that disorder is there in the first instance, and when you remove it, the patient gets well. And I want to also dwell a little on the terminologies of saying, calling natural medicine alternative medicine. It is not alternative in this part of the world. It is the mainstream medicine. If you call it alternative, we are making a mistake, because our forefathers, they have never seen seen the inside of a hospital, and they are getting well. The World Health Organization, as a matter of their expression, they said 80% of people in developing countries have never been to the hospital. They are well, and they have no crisis, no epidemic, and so on and so forth. So if we are not calling that as alternative, then I don't know how you would probably interpret that. So natural medicine aims at restoring youth back to wellness. But if people quarrel about it, whether it is treatment or cure, I'm not sure whether that one would make much difference.
Yeah.
And I will explain a little bit more. I told you I started my adventures in 1995 on this Jobelyn. It was somebody called Jubi formula. And the more I went into it, I decided to put science into it. And Jobelyn is about the most researched traditional herbal medicine in the whole of Africa. It can be argued, but I would say unarguably, because the number of research studies that we have done in America, in Germany, in Nigeria, in most of the universities in Nigeria, I don't think any herbal or traditional medicine can rival it. And at the end of the day, I feel satisfied that we got to the bottom of the matter. What is creating human problem, is only, one thing, and it is what is caused by oxidative stress. The Orthodox people are now just learning about it. Oxidative stress. Every day as we are living, the free radicals are being created in your system. And these free radicals damage your cells, and eventually it results in different types of diseases. So if you're able to take care of the oxidative stress, wellness will return. All the treatment, all the cure, it won't make any difference. The bottom line is that there is wellness.
Yeah. Which brings me to something that you are talking about, because we're talking about alternate or it's not alternate and all that. Well, one thing I've realized, compared to countries like Asia who focus a lot on what I call natural medicine, herbs, and all that, when it comes to other countries talking about it, it's seen as no, that's not the medicine you should use. There's more push for what I call pharmacology type medicines. Even in research, we don't even push for it. We focus more on these medicines. We spend so much on the pharmacology medicine doing research. But when it comes to alternative medicine, I find that, I don't know, it is in reality, for Africa, natural medicine is the first medicine. When you think is the core, how will I call it, grassroots medicine, but yet it's not being pushed as an alternative or as an evidence based healing process, compared to the way the Chinese are pushing it or the Japanese are pushing it.
Yeah.
So why
more
do
like
you
it's
think
not
this is more like it's not what you said, Maureen?
welcome? More like it's not welcome
Yes.
anymore.
Yes, it's not welcome. There's this heavy push against it. Although I'm not saying that there are some people who actually bring these things and they're not really okay. You have the fake types which will come to, but in general there's this push against it. When you bring the topic, it's like a bad thing to talk about. Why do you think it's so? I'll start with that, Dr. Ajaere.
You see, The challenge we have in this part of the world is that I think we are still crawling in the area of alternative medicine. You know, when you're talking of India, Germany, and other countries are so advanced. Even Ghana here are very much advanced. You see that the problem with us is that we tend to neglect what we have. We don't cherish what we have. Okay, so the thing is, when you at it deeply, you find out a lot of, in fact, those days, people get interest in alternative medicine and all. Are you getting me? But you see now, the interest you have now, or the confidence in alternative medicine is more because a lot of people are patronizing it. Yes, sir. Because you've seen that. Okay, let me use this word. You see, in the health sector, it's like uh, people from different areas are watching an elephant, an elephant. Somebody doing the elephant from the posterior side, the other person, two people are doing the elephant from the lateral side, left and right lateral side, and the other person doing them from anterior. The fourth person is watching through those are this is the plan. You find out that if you ask them questions, you see, they will tell you that they saw the same thing, except the one viewing the elephant on the lateral, side will tell you they saw something the same. So that is it. It is what you see, It is only what you see, Even in the health sector, all over the world. In Nigeria is what you see. If you come in alternative medicine deeply, and you begin to see how it plays, you'll be shocked. There are people who don't use orthodox medicine at all. They take only alternative medicine. I can't even remember the very year I took orthodox medicine. I can't even remember. I don't even take it because I'm healthy. Yeah. Okay, I do what I'm expected to do. You take your water, you do your yoga exercises. Okay, there are ways you take your water. Water therapy. Okay, there are things you do. You become healthy. So the problem with us is that still borders in the area of advocacy. It is you need to know. You see, and when people don't know, they begin to react negatively and see whatever they like. Go to India, we have what we call Unani system of medicine. You can call it Unani. We have Ayurvedic medicine there, like what Otunba was saying. You see, Ayurvedic medicine is the indigenous system of medicine in India. The value is more than the orthodox or what you call allopathic medicine. You understand? So because they appreciate it, so you have allopathic medicine, you have naturopathic medicine, other system of medicine, they are there. Yoga, reflexion. Okay, you know that if you understand other natural medicine, you understand the use of reflexology, sickle cell patients need some therapy. The souls of a man's all the organs in the body represented there. When you press out, wherever you have pain, press out the pain that is corresponding healing. The idea is natural because in the human body, there's that God has kept something there to heal itself. The body heals itself. Whatever medicine you are taking, natural medicine, it helps the healing. It just helps in healing. So it's not like that with the orthodox gods. But in the natural medicine with homeopathy, herbal medicine, all this system of medicine, they help the body heal themselves. You understand? They instigate healing. If you meet a homeopath, when the patient sits before a homeopath, he looks at the homeopath. The first thing that comes to his mind is that the vital force is deranged. The man is sick. Okay? The man as a whole is sick. He's trying to take the totality of symptoms to pick out the drug that the most severe, that fits the drug that fits the disease. That's what it is. So most of the things they do are based on natural. Okay, look at it. The problem at times we don't take time to see things. If you watch carefully, you will see that when animals go sick, What do? They fast, yes or no? You observe that? They go without food for some days and they get better. If you are very observant, you see the agama lizard. You see the agama lizard, when they are sick, they try to chew leaves and they get better. Your medicine in India was derived, it was founded by observing a goat. If you grew up, okay, I didn't grow up in the village. During the war, I was in the village. So I had to help my grandmother. We go out to bring fruits or these leaves for the goats. And I observed if there are 7 types of leaves that are posted, it's very simple, take 2, 3. And I'll get angry. I'm like, why is it so? It's like wasting my this goat is adjusting the body according. If it's constipated, it takes a leaf that will clear constipation. If it's having abdominal pain, it selects that leaf and it takes it. The next day when you repeat the same person, the leaf works. The goat will abandon the one he took first and take another. So the medicine was based on observing the so that we in this part of the world not taking time to observe the environment. Everybody is embracing the Western style. Until we go back to our roots, like Otunba said, then you begin to understand that Nigeria has a lot to give to the world. A lot in terms of natural medicine, herbal medicine, and all of this. And we want to be like a white man. We want to speak like a white man. We want to laugh like a white man. This is one of deception. You understand? And that is why it is important we all come together, as that power of God, come together and bring ideas together and we set to forward.
Okay.
We are talking about acupressure, acupuncture. Acupuncture is Chinese system of medicine, traditional medicine. And what do they do? There are what we call acupoints in the body. There are about 200 to 300 points. What do the acupuncturist do? He stimulates these points with needles, special needles, okay, to do what? To enhance the cure. The same thing. So by the time he does it, okay, I want to tell you something. When you got a child in lower grade in the class and you ask him or her a question, and unconsciously you see him or her pressing the forehead, unconsciously there is a point that controls memory. It's trying to remember. And you see a child, maybe you beat that child. The child wants to react because it's angry, and you see that child going to the ear. It's touching the point that is worried. These things are there and they are real. Okay? You see women from the Orient, like all these women from what do you call Niger, Mali, and also and those are come to those women. Yeah. So the authorities know where to pick because they are acupuncture 1, I'm giving an example, 2, 6, 7. You go for sitting over time. The asthma goes. So you can say it is pure healing because responding as they should. We don't have cure as such. If the patients are playing their role, means taking instructions and understanding what alternative medicine is, we'll be having a lot of cures. It's strange to them. Let me stop.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think the next question is about how to know, the effect on how do we differentiate it. There are lots of, I think, the fight between orthodox people who promote orthodox medicine and between them and those who promote unorthodox medicine or alternate medicine. The problem is they always talk about dosage, knowing how to gauge what is right for a patient. And that's why they always try to kick against it, except I know now they are trying to find a way to regulate it. But before the regulation comes and it's fully accepted, is there a way for people to differentiate between what is real and what is fake when it comes to natural medicine? Is there a way to differentiate? Is there a proper place, maybe the right place to go to, so that people don't meet quacks and then get poison along the way, or just something that people should know generally when looking to take natural medicine?
Otunba, can you answer that?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Alternative medicine has a lot of disadvantages in terms of being able to stand side by side with the orthodox. But some time ago, I held several meetings with the former chairman of the Lagos State Traditional Medicine Board, and the alternative medicine practitioner has a disadvantage. Is the doctor, is also the pharmacist, is also everything. I mean, in orthodox medicine,
Okay.
I mean, the pharmaceutical part of it is a giant industry running into billions. They specialize in producing the medicine, researching into it, publishing it. I mean, overseeing clinical trials with the regulatory bodies. And now, a herbal practitioner like myself, you want me now to produce, a product that I will pass through the regulatory system. And also, I will also be the doctor to prescribe it. So my patients, you can see the great disadvantage in this. And unfortunately, the regulatory body, I mean, particularly this part of the world, is comprising of people who specialize in orthodox medicine. They don't understand the concept of natural or traditional medicine as such. But because they are the ones recognized by the law, they take for granted that they know everything. Natural medicine, alternative medicine is a specialized area. Even in the USA, the FDA has a department for botanical medicine, and that department is being staffed by specialists from India, from China, those who specialize in traditional and herbal medicine, so they know what they are talking about. Here, you want to go and submit yourself to somebody who hasn't got any knowledge of what you are talking about. Or natural medicine is a specialized area, and people need to be well educated and knowledgeable in it in order to appreciate what you are talking about. So all the criticisms against orthodox medicine, against traditional medicine, can be regarded as being unfair. I mean, I'm educated, and I spent the last 25 years researching into a single product because of mainly curiosity, because I found it difficult to believe that a single herb can be taking care of sickle cell anemia, cancer, HIV, and everything. That was what propelled me on. And the research that I've been doing, I've been publishing them. Did the research even on HIV. HIV clinical trials were done at the military hospital in Lagos and the police hospital in Falomo in Lagos. We published it, and nobody even responded. We published it in peer-reviewed Journal of Alternative Medicine in the USA. It was widely published, and nobody raised any issue about it. If it were in India or in China, There are people who will recognize what we have done and on the dialogue, and then they will see how they can come in. I mean, in this country, we have resources. We have, herbal products, traditional medicinal products that can revolutionize the whole world. I give you one example. Take anemia, for example. America is very, very well advanced technologically, but they don't have the solution to the problem of anemia. Whereas for natural medicine, it is a simple and straightforward thing. Now, what causes anemia in most cases is what you call red blood cells that are being damaged by oxidative stress, because the red blood cells to die and some of them to be moribund, and so it gives the semblance that there's not enough blood in the system. With the technology of America, they spend billions to invent products like Epogen or Epoetin alpha, which they use for patients with all the side effects. It can bring in stroke. It can bring in the heart failure, and so on and so forth. In nature, if you take care of the oxidative stress that is depleting the number of red blood cells, the blood will come back and the problem of anemia will be solved. But in this part of the country, we need to address alternative medicine in a more serious manner. In all the establishments, you don't have departments that are manned by people who specialize in traditional or herbal medicine. You don't have them. How can you expect somebody who studies pharmacology, pharmacology, and all those other things to understand the basic elements of herbal medicine? So that is the problem that we're having in this country.
Yeah, and which brings me to because I know both of you talked about the India and China, people recognize more, but I noticed one thing about Nigeria, or will I say Nigerians, I don't know. In terms of herbal medicine, we tend to bring in medicines from these countries. You will see all sorts of medicines. I don't want to name them, but there are certain medicines you will see, they will say it cures this, it cures that. Well, it's all part of this, some of them are sometimes part of this multi-level marketing stuff. And they will come with different, especially when it comes to targeting people with sickle cell. They come with different issues that it does that. But the funny thing and the irony is that when you go to the international websites of these people, nothing of such is mentioned, or they don't put it like that. So how can we manage such issues?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have all sorts of people claiming all sorts of things, you don't know where, and they don't even patronize the one that is in Nigeria, that you know that at least the people here have tried Ibile. I don't know how to translate that in English, but it's in a soil, as it were. But we don't use, but we bring all these things and then we claim also, and then we
The
look
king is
for
not recognizing his home.
they're not recognized at all. Prophet is never recognized. And they bring all these things and then they claim on, and I go to their website, I'm like,
And
where does this thing say this in the website?
Yes,
And
yes.
unfortunately, sickle cell is the most targeted, how would I call it? Uh, Illness, shall I say, from this matter. So how can we manage this situation or curtail or whatever this situation so that people are more enlightened in choices they make? Anybody can answer. Yeah.
Okay, now what has actually brought a lot of problem to the Nigerian herbal and traditional medicine industry is the fact that over the last 20 years, as Madam has rightly mentioned, there has been an influx from different parts of the world, the developed countries. And in this age of technology and so on and so forth, capital, money, is the number one, part of the whole show. When people bring in any rubbish into this country and they have the money to advertise it, what people hear about is what they will want to try. As I said earlier, a traditional medicine practitioner even hasn't got even the money to develop the product into any presentable form in the first instance. So, and if it is not presentable, then we are not even, we're far behind in talking of marketing, multi-level marketing, and advertising, and so on and so forth. So, this country has to start from the scratch if they want. This country wants to develop herbal and traditional medicine. I only pity people, like those who are having sickle cell problem. About 8 years ago, we did clinical trials at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital for sickle cell patients, and the result was excellent. Of the over 60 patients who went through the trial, for the 3 months, none of them had crisis, none of them had blood transfusion, all of them were well. This result was published in a peer-reviewed journal. And the Ministry of Health, Lagos State Ministry of Health, which had been advocating that they want to incorporate, they want to, bring in traditional medicine or herbal medicine, was aware of this result. But when the stakes are down, when the whole thing comes to the crunch, they even refuse to allow this product that has been researched and found okay to be even displayed in their fee-paying pharmacy in the hospital. Whereas other products, herbal medicines, were being displayed in the same hospital. Now, what will you say about that? If at my own level, and I've researched, I have invested so much, millions on this thing, my mouth is being kept shut. You cannot even advertise. You will be in trouble if you advertise. Whereas the products that haven't got any efficacy are being advertised freely in the country. And where I'm coming from now is this: all the children, those who took part in the clinical trial at the time we did it at LASO, they have now grown up. So they are now taking care of themselves. But they are not interested in herbal medicine. They are interested in stem cells. They are interested in bone marrow transplant. They are looking for something that will just cure them once and for all. Whereas the problem with sickle cell can be solved with nutrition, not even to talk of Jobelyn. Jobelyn can even be classified as part of nutrition, because in Jobelyn, which is made from sorghum bicolor leaf sheaf, you have all the components of food. You have dietary fiber, you have selenium, you have omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, vitamin A, B, C, you have calcium, you have zinc. Every component is present there. So they are more interested in that. Now, if you normally eat rightly, if you eat all the things that contain all the necessary nutrients, sickle cell will be neutralized. You won't even have it at all. But nature has done it so well for us that all these components, all these ingredients were packaged in a particular plant. And research has been done on it. There are 3 aspects, like Jobelyn, 3 aspects to it. Well, you have the phytonutrient, like apigeninidine, luteolidine, and so on and so forth. You have bioflavonoids. You have then you have the food components, which is a complete the vitamins that are now being isolated and being made into the synthetic form are inside Jobelyn naturally. But our young people now, they're not interested in all that. And of course, one of the things that is also important is the fact that people have a misconception about products like Jobelyn. You have to be on it regularly as part of your food in order for you to be neutralizing the free radicals that are causing oxidative stress in your system. But they don't have time for that. They want to go for bone marrow transplant, stem cell, or something quick like that, and then you just get rid of the whole thing. So there are, it's a very, very compound problem. I would suggest that the government, the Ministry of Health, to set up a high-powered, organization, bring in experts. We don't have many experts in this country, in this area. It is a specialized area, but people take it for granted. Just look at the herbal medicine practitioner. And they haven't got even the resources to develop. We established an organization at one time or the other. We call it RITAM, Research Institute for Traditional and Alternative Medicine. This is an assignment that the government should be doing, inviting poor people, poor herbalists, and so on and so forth, to bring their products. And then we try to get preliminary evidence on these things. If you say you have any product for sickle cell, we encourage you to bring it, look at the package, assist you to moderate it, and so on and so forth. And then invite people to come and take this product, and then we record the result based on the laboratory results. If, for example, somebody says he has a product for diabetes, and we invite people and they bring in their natural products, and they try it, and 8 people out of 10, their fasting blood sugar level normalizes within a short period of time. We know there's something in that one. This is where the government should come in order to take this thing over from there. But there's nobody looking at that. The orthodox medicine is killing the whole of the world. Even this COVID now, if you look at it, even in the USA, you will find out that at the end of the day, they are mentioning natural medicine, immune boosting, and so on and so forth. That is what the emphasis is on. And there's no orthodox drug that can modulate the immune system. Mark that word. I say modulate. I mean, people are just saying, my product boosts the immune system. Boosting is quite different. Modulation is a different ball game. A product that modulates, some aspects of the product will do inflammation, will cause inflammation in the body to kill the bacteria that is worrying the body. Whereas another aspect of it will boost the immune system to strengthen the body to withstand any onslaught of problem. So it's a very complicated issue. It's not as simple, but it is a good thing that this platform is touching on fundamental issues which the government ought to address.
Yeah. Wow. Definitely, it's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of issues that needs to be dealt in this area. We cannot sort it out in 45 minutes. We will go past that time. But I think maybe in which I don't know if anybody has ever thought of it, or even having whether it's a conference on this, because I don't really see much of that going on, of a cohesiveness of all everybody in this industry to come out. You see doctors coming out, but like in terms of natural, traditional, alternative, whatever, I don't really see people coming out say, okay, there's this seminar, there's this discussion, there's this thing around it, so that like a round table to discuss issues that affect this case of alternative medicine, because definitely it's something that we can use. It's something that when used rightly will work. I'm coming from a health coaching perspective of what they taught me in America, because there are some health coaches in America that don't believe even in pharmacology medicine. They focus on food, what you eat, and then other alternatives and stuff like that. So I think it's an ongoing, and maybe I encourage Dr. Ajaere Otunba, maybe you people will think of forming something that would, there'll be avenues to discuss this more on a more branded, in quotes, case, so that people can have a better understanding of it, and then your competitors will not be the one regulating you, because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just don't make sense for somebody. Of course, they will benefit more from selling the drugs, all that stuff. So I think it's something that is a continuing discussion, and I want to thank you. Our time has been well spent. Uh, but definitely we'll bring you again with something. I don't know, maybe we'll discuss and organize something more intent on this issue, because I think we should start looking at such areas of treatment, rather than just the medicine that we normally do. Because for a long time, until I decided to succumb to a particular drug, I refused to take it because of side effects issue. But because of my issue, I had to go and take, which has helped. I won't lie, but at the end of the day, there are things that when we know about it, alternative medicines that we can use that are not so chemical induced. I always call them chemically induced,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, these things affect our organs, our kidneys, our livers, and all that. But I'm sure once we're informed, there are other things that we can use to help us. So thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you
Ajari.
so
Sorry,
much. Thank you.
Thank you
thank
very
you,
much for
Dr. Jerry.
Ajere. Sorry,
Ajaere.
Ajere. Sorry, I keep bothering. I don't know why. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation, and Otunba Okubena, thank you so much for also honoring our invitation. It's
Thank
been
you for having me.
enlightening, and I hope this is not the end of this type of conversation. We'll continue to talk about it, continue to enlighten the populace on these issues, so that something can be done about it. I know when they were doing the sickle cell bill, they had a bill also, or a reading for alternate medicine in the Senate. I don't know what happened with that, but I think it's something we should continue voicing, the way we are voicing sickle cell bill, to be able to find ways that people generally, not just people with chronic health issues, can live better and more positive. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sirs. It's been a nice time having you both here.
Thank you very much indeed. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
I mean,
Thank
Yeah.
you.
it's a
Have
good
a lo-
opportunity. It's a starting point.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. All right, then we'll let you leave. And thanks so
Thank you.
much
Thank
again.
you.
Okay, so I hope we've been able to give you some information on alternative medicine. The bottom line is that whenever we hear natural medicine, herbal medicine, the most important thing is to get the adequate information. Uh, know what it does and what it's supposed to do and all that, and know where it comes from, and be informed in its efficacy, because at the end of the day, we are our own doctors, and I know that um, definitely the body automatically heals ourselves. Sometimes I think is that impatience of not wanting things to work fast, that we then try all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, we don't want to make matters worse. And we hope that people out there, whether you're government or the normal medical association and all that, we'll be able to look through these issues and be able to make it more in line. Because definitely, I mean, there's no one answer that fits all in any situation, whether it's the orthodox medicine or non-orthodox medicine. All of them have their place in society, and for generations we'll be able to use that to help so many people. So we must come together, unite, and work together to ultimately achieve one goal: help that person that is suffering from one ailment or the other, and create a society that is well and healthy. Thank you. So, Maureen, thank you. It's been
Thank
interesting.
you. It's been
Yeah,
a very, I don't know. Yeah, it was long, but it was very enlightening and very
yeah,
educating. And I hope everyone has learned something, and everyone will come together to lend their voice, especially if you believe that this is the way to go. That this, as David said, it's this sector is really undermined, and it needs a lot of solutions are embedded in it. And sorry we couldn't take that question.
yeah.
It's way
Sorry,
past
David.
our time. Yeah, sorry David, sorry Yomi and Cool Face. Yeah, we should have. But I believe in the course of their discussion, they had already, answered some of these questions. Unless you came
Yes,
late to the show, they answered some of these questions in the course of their conversations. So thank you everyone for staying with us tonight, and we'll definitely come your way next week, same time,
yeah.
same place. So don't miss it. It's becoming
And
more
happy World
interesting.
Health Day.
Yes,
Happy World Health Day to everybody. We believe in a
yes,
society where everybody should live healthy. We're following the SDG goals, which talks about health and well-being. And our hope is that each time we bring you things like that, we'll bring you a
mm,
step closer to living healthy. So
yes.
over to you, Maureen.
All right. So we are calling it a night. Like I said, we'll still be here same time next week, Saturday, and it's going to be even more interesting. Everything this month, it's all about our health this month, all about our health. So next week, just stay tuned. You know, follow
Yeah.
us on our across our social media handles. Just stay, be on alert so that you know what's up for next week, and invite your family and friends. If you're enjoying this show, invite your family and friends. And as you know, this has been a production of Sickle Cell Advocacy and Management Initiative. So thank you everyone for being here tonight. So have a lovely night rest
Yeah.
and good week ahead.
Yes. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.